Broadcasting from the Vancouver Convention Center in British Columbia, Solutions Review is on location at the FME User Conference 2022, the peak of data integration. Brought to you by Safe Software.
I'm Doug Atkinson, and we are here in Vancouver, British Columbia at the FME User Conference 2022 with Dmitri Bagh, Scenario Creations Analyst. It's a great title. I want to get it right. At Safe Software. A very interesting title, and we just had a little bit of a chance to chat, and it's a very interesting job. But before we get into all that, you're originally from Russia, and you came and joined Safe 17, 18 years ago?
I came to Canada 22 years ago.
Oh, okay. So let's start there.
Okay. So, yeah, we just immigrated as professional immigrants. We didn't have a job. My wife and I moved here. And that probably was interesting how we chose Vancouver over everything else. We looked at the map and we compared with the map of St. Petersburg, where I'm originally from. We saw a river going through the city, some islands there. And we decided it looks similar, and that was a good choice. We didn't explore the job market or anything else, but we never regret so that we made that decision. We did know about the mountains, so St. Petersburg is really flat. Here we have lots of mountains, but we really like
love it.
Yeah, our life.
It's kind of a spatial analysis.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And so when did you join Safe?
In 2005, January 2nd.
And what was your role there initially? Was it
That was always the same. So
scenario creation?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Talk to me about what that job is, because it's the best title I've heard.
Basically, it's just looking what is new and interesting is added to FME each year, finding something what really attracts my attention and exploring that theme. It can be we added point clouds, so before that rasters. What can we do with that? So what transformers we need, or what would be a realistic user scenario, what they can do with their data. So once I got to that, so I explored that, I create a few workspaces, and then I publish my results so people can look at that and think, wow, I also can do that. And
you share that with the
Yes,
community?
everything what I create is always for everyone. So I wouldn't share customers' data, of course, but every single workspace that I create is for everyone. Yeah.
And you've just been dutifully creating scenarios?
Yes, but they are so diverse. So what I do changed so much. I started with some vector scenarios, and that's actually also an interesting story. So that's connected to a trauma I got at the university. At one of the exams, I was asked what an orthodrome is. It's a great circle. And I didn't know that, and I said to my teacher, sorry, I don't know that. But somehow she forgave me, and I got the good mark. And when I came to Safe, that was the first thing I did. So orthodrome replacer. So you draw a line on a map between 2 points, and I make it into a big circle. 2 weeks later, a big customer is coming to us and said, I need this format, where great circle is a really an important part of the whole format.
Wow.
So somehow, and that happened many times when I try something just out of fun, and then we have a real customer that really needs that. So in that respect, I'm just probably lucky to feel those things and try them.
Well, so again, it's a fascinating role in that you're essentially innovating and pushing the boundaries out into what can be done when it hasn't necessarily been done yet. And so where do some of these, it's not just you, I'm assuming that Don and Dale can sometimes pay you a visit and give you some ideas?
That's true, yes, of course. They may ask me what I should do, or just give a general guidance, like would you work more with marketing, for example? and I would do that. Or like with point clouds, they assign that like very specifically that role to explore this. But sometimes I can just take something and they don't even ask what I'm doing. But usually they're happy with the results.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so what gives you inspiration? I mean, how do you kind of go through, are you thinking, these are all the ones I want to try to get to? Do you have like a timeline that you're working against at this point that you've already got some ideas about?
Sometimes, yes. I put, write down my ideas. Sometimes I never get to them, but sometimes I can put everything aside. So I'm lucky in that respect. So I don't have, firm deadline. Usually don't have deadlines, and I can really dive into a theme, into a topic. Like, for example, machine learning. So I did a lot of investigating what can be done with FME and how FME can contribute to machine learning process. So by itself, it's artificial intelligence. That intelligence is not that smart. It's just statistics on patterns. That's it. But we can make it smarter by applying the power of FME, geospatial filters, data enrichment, which happens after or before machine learning. And so that's how we make it better, and that's how we can show that FME can play a really good role, like significant role in improving results of machine learning.
And so are you, again, this is a very interesting role. Do you work with the product team?
Yes, yeah, sometimes I work with the product team, and yeah, they may add something new, for example, I don't know, turn lines into pipes for augmented reality. And
right.
Yeah, I was asking for that for some time, then they did it and I tested that and made a part of my scenarios. So now we can have really nice pipes.
And do you take requests from like the community?
I may, yes. For example, I'll give you another example. Viewshed analysis. It's something what people need, and FME does not have a transformer for that. And someone from New Zealand, our partner actually there, he said, I have a viewshed analysis. I would like to see whether properties along the shore in the whole country can see ocean, right? Because that raises the value of the property. But if you would try to solve it as a vector task, like generating some points on the surface of the of the ocean, then it would take forever. And he said that's probably sounds like a Dmitri task. And so I used point clouds for that. So a point cloud approach, and that worked quite well. So that's how a request can come from a community. So that's a good example.
So with regard to transformers, because one of the questions I was going to ask people, and I have opted not to until you came along, is what's your favorite transformer? But I know it's like trying to pick your favorite child. So
yeah.
So try to tell me what do you think are kind of your top 3 transformers?
Okay, so I really like point cloud merger, because
sounds
behind
like that's a hot one.
Well, I don't think people really understand or appreciate how powerful that transformer is, but most of the point cloud analysis I do with point cloud merger. So I'd say it's a little bit obscure transformer. I like point cloud expression evaluator and raster expression evaluator because I can do a lot of things with these 2 types of data. And HTTP caller is a popular one, and I like it too because then I can talk to different systems and turn some API calls into transformers.
And so you're helping to create new transformers?
I created quite a few custom transformers. Yes, so I don't create the standard ones. We have developers for that. I'm not a developer. I'm a cartographer. But I created quite a few custom transformers. Yes.
That's great. That's great. So those are your 3 go-to transformers when you're working on a new scenario, or are there some that
I like them. Yeah, my favorite. Yeah, I probably have a lot more.
I'm sure you're using a lot of them.
Yes. Yeah. Of course, yeah.
That's great. So what advice would you give to somebody who's kind of out there creating their own scenarios at client companies? I mean, how do you think about the product and how they can use it?
So, well, maybe I could after spending so many years on that, I probably lost a little bit of that perspective of someone who just begins. But I remember that feeling at the beginning when a company where I worked at that moment, they used the old way of doing FME. It's like with mapping files where you type text and run that. But Workbench, the graphic environment, was just created at that moment, and I was the first one who tried it. And it was so natural to me because I see what I would like to get, and I just start typing what I think I would like to get. For example, if I need to clip something or cut something, I can try cut or clip, and suddenly I see a new transformer that I need, a clipper transformer. So that was so natural. At that point, we probably had about 200 transformers, like we have over 500. I think it was a lot easier to find what you need. But well, I'm a JS professional, so I knew I could visualize in my head how I can get from A to B, and I just had to find that right transformer. That's how I started, but it always felt very natural for me. So to use this product. So
that's great. So what gets you excited about the future? Is it the amount of data? Is it new data? Is it the power of computing? Is it what gets you excited about where everything's headed? And I mean large picture. And not just FME necessarily, but all the things that you can leverage within an FME environment.
Well, it's probably may sound trivial, but I really like the part of integrating everything from everywhere.
Right.
Maybe, enriching data. I mentioned this word quite a few times during these 2 days, data enrichment, what I really like, and that's where integration is not just bringing everything together. It's you pass that knowledge which each layer has about itself to all other layers, to all other points, lines, everything. So data knows more about itself, and when it knows more, you can analyze that. You can use that knowledge of data about itself for getting greater results. That's one part what excites me, and another part, I talk a lot these days for the last couple of 3 years about augmented reality. To me, what is really good there is. What really excites me there is, I'm a cartographer, a geographer, cartographer, and we have those. Cartography it's a language, right? And we can bring that. It's a rich language. People understand really well maps, the cartographers at least, right? And we can bring that experience into real world. If we see, for some pipes, we don't necessarily need them to be realistic. We rather may need, their function, which tells us a lot more as cartographers, like thematic mapping, right? Now we can have thematic mapping in scale 1:1, and we can see it around us, mapped a little bit differently. So that look can be different, and I get really excited about that. So, and seeing that developing is something what I really love to talk about, and really looking forward to see more happening here.
And is this headed toward the metaverse? Is this?
Metaverse is a interesting term, and I'm okay. Maybe I can give you this angle.
I would love an angle on the metaverse because I'm struggling.
Well, I have 3 kids.
Yeah.
21, 15, and 11. They are all in their computer world.
Yes.
First of them is really good, first-person shooter, 0.1% in the world. The second one is, Unity programmer. He learned it in a year. He participates in game jams, and he's so good at that.
Yes.
The youngest, he's 11, but he can get 1 million TikTok views in a day. But they're not interested in metaverse at all whatsoever. On the other hand, I saw my youngest one driving in a car really badly through bushes, through walls.
Oh, he's 11 years old.
What are you doing? And he said, you know what? That's not me. That's my friend Andrew. They already live in their metaverse. They have.
So he was in the virtual car with his
virtual car with his friends. So they have their metaverse. It has happened already. It's not coming.
They don't see it as the metaverse, right?
They've
already passed beyond that.
Exactly. Yes,
They've
for them
internalized
it's already there. They talk, they drive, they go, order pizza. They cannot eat it at this point, but they can build.
But that's coming.
It is coming, yes. But the rest is already there, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for them, metaverse does exist.
Yeah.
So they don't need headset. They just live there. So that's my point. The metaverse probably will develop. I think it has more chances in the industry than for consumers because it should be really, really convenient and useful to be used. Well, for consumers. For a specialist, like I have some surveying background, so and I know that I have to do certain work, I have to carry certain stuff with me, I have to set up. So and that's how, for example, augmented reality works. And at this point, it's still not very convenient, but I see the value. And maybe metaverse for the industry will work a lot better than for seeing, like you saw that Mark Zuckerberg avatar.
Yeah.
How bad that was.
Yep, that was bad.
So it's probably will come differently, not how they see it.
So how are you enjoying the show? Do you enjoy getting out and being at things like this? Is this?
I love those. Yeah, I love our conferences, and I love meeting people. And can you imagine? So I attended all the conferences that we had.
Yep.
So I know lots of people, and it's so good to finally see them again.
Yes.
It's like meeting so many old friends and catching up.
There's no substitute for this.
Yeah.
You can't do this virtually.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks very much for swinging by. This was a good conversation.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
Best of luck with the rest of the show, and certainly best of luck creating new scenarios.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.